Is this the strongest Bakuten Shoot Beyblade Burst remake? I put Trigger V2 Illegal Wedge Dash, released in the Bakuten Shoot Beyblade 2023 V2 set, and an almost immovable stamina type to the test against all the other Bakuten Shoot remakes. Spoiler alert, two bays were able to score an overfinish and a burst finish respectively. Can you guess which two bays? I used the stock Trigger V2 with its support parts and faced off against all the other remakes except Gaia Dragoon because I didn't have one. Starting off, we have Dragoon S. Now, the results were pretty obvious since it's from the S generation, and you might see a trend here. Trigger V2 was launched first and then Dragoon S. Another factor to key in on this test was the launching techniques. You know, after not blading for a few years, I might have forgotten how to launch a Beyblade properly. I only did one round each bay unless the bay had different modes like the next one, Dronzer S, which I started with the stamina mode. Again, Trigger V2 was launched first, then Dronzer S. Nothing quite special here, just a regular stamina battle. I then changed Dronzer S to attack mode. Again, Trigger V2 first and then Dronzer S. There was more action, but it eventually led to Dronzer bursting. Next up was Dracil S. Due to Dracil's aggressive shape, which I think was for counter-attacking, it was pushed back a lot by Trigger, leading to it bursting as well. Here is the last bay in the S generation, its own kind, Trigger S. Like with attack mode Dronzer and Dracil, Trigger suffered the same fate with 2 hits. Onto the F generation with Dragoon F. The variable driver wasn't awakened yet, so Dragoon F was a little bit less aggressive. A few hits here and there, but in the end it still lost to a burst finish. Next was Dronzer F in attack mode, the best mode in my opinion. It jumped on Trigger upon launching, but it didn't matter since Trigger was a heavy beast. It tried landing a barrage of attacks, but Trigger wouldn't budge until it lost to a spin finish. I then changed it to defense mode, and surprisingly it did stall around the stadium, possibly hoping for a chance to prolong the fight, but again spin finished by Trigger V2. The last battle with Dronzer F was with the balance mode, which didn't do much since it all led to a stamina battle and we know who's going to win. Next was Dracil F, which I think was the less aggressive compared to its S counterpart. Then again, another spin finish for Trigger V2. And the last Beyblade of the F generation, Trigger F. I started off with a short mode. It ran around the stadium to avoid contact, but it couldn't avoid losing its stamina. I switched to tall mode, which unfortunately gave off the same exact result. For Wolborg, I was kinda hoping for something like a miracle because of its sparing driver, but Trigger V2 gave me another spin finish. Have you guessed the bait to score an over finish against Trigger V2? That's right! In a series of fortunate hits, Dragoon V was able to knock Trigger V2 out of the stadium with a smooth touch. Next was Dronzer V in short mode. It was a nice back and forth of hits showcasing the weight of Dronzer V, allowing it to have a decent exchange with Trigger V2, but it was all just disguise for an impending burst finish. I then switched to the mid level and the high level, which basically gave the same results, a spin finish by Trigger V2. Next up in the V generation was Dracil V. I honestly didn't remember that Dracil V had 5 protruding points, which was supposed to help defend, which it actually did in exchange for losing stamina though. Next was Trigger V. Listed as a balance type, this Babe didn't show any balance in its movements and eventually lost to another spin finish by its V2 counterpart. Last one in the V generation was Gaia Dragoon V. Maybe I just launched it incorrectly as it stalled around the stadium, which I was hoping for more aggressive attacks. Nonetheless, its speed wasn't enough to make Trigger V2 budge. From its own generation, starting with Dragoon V2. I had high hopes for this base since it was capable of doing LAD in some of my previous tests, but it wasn't the case in this one, losing to a burst finish. I actually liked the gimmick of Reboot Dash, but unfortunately for this one, it activated in the wrong moment, stalling around the stadium and losing to a spin finish. Lastly, we have Dracil V2, which I believe is more suited for an attack customization. Oh, and it graciously lost to a spin finish by Trigger V2. Now, I tried removing the support parts to kinda nerf it out. And have you guessed which base surprisingly scored a burst finish against Trigger V2? I guess it was because it kinda simulated a slow launch with a left spin bay? And then here were the succeeding battles with a nerfed Trigger V2. Spin! Burst! Over? Burst! Burst! Spin! 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 Burst! Oh, and I found out that the layer had a visible chip. That's what you get for battling non-stop. This time, Dragoon V bursted before it got the chance to beat Trigger V2. Spin finish on all of the Dranzer V modes. Spin, spin. Better launch and better chance, but Gaia Dragoon V still lost to a spin finish. No LAD for Dragoon V2 as it lost to a burst finish. Spin finish on Dranzer V2, and a glorious over finish against Rasil V2. I guess I can say that Trigger V2 is indeed the best Bakuten Shoot Beyblade Burst remake. Which Bakuten remake is your favorite? Comment down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out.